Hey Leute, willkommen zurück zu Danganronpa. Wir sind wieder zurück mit unseren Freunden zusammengekommen und jetzt quasi müssen wir alle Mysterien der Schule lösen, sonst sterben wir alle. I mean, working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries. Indeed. That's what I thought too, at first. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. Hint? It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students, and the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
I see.
Monokuma said that, did he? Then Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable. But why?
So in other words...
If the mastermind really is the one who killed Mukuru, as Kyoko says, then the mastermind would have had to set foot in the school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Mukuru, but there's no way he could have disguised a scene like that.
In other words...
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have been taking part in the killing game. Then the mastermind is... There were 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning. Add in Mukuru and you get 16. So the mastermind would have to be one of them?
That's right.
And of those 16 people, we started out with the only ones still alive. Are the people standing right here? Need I continue or do you get it now? What? You're saying the mastermind is one of us?
No way!
You can't be serious. Wait, we can't say that for sure, that's true yet. Monokuma might have just said all that to confuse us.
Indeed.
It's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean, they're an ultimate, right? The ultimate is fair, so they must be a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible. But if one of us was the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But did you ever see anyone acting suspicious any time Monokuma was active?
Whoa!
Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret.
But...
I don't care how sneaky you are. We would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right?
Then maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand. In that case, there's no way he could have had all those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it would be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but still. Huh, my turn.
This is a school announcement.
Na, doch nicht.
You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school.
Okay, das ist interesting. Haben wir jetzt einige Optionen.
Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of my family.
At this point, I can rely only on myself, on the Togami blood flowing through my veins. I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility. Well then. After making his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. My master! He didn't take me with him?
Hey.
Do you blame him? Without master, the rest of you are like coffee with cream without the cream or coffee. You're totally useless. So bye. With that, Toko trudged out of the dining hall. Now she's gone. You're gonna go off by yourself, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
That's right. Which just leaves Makoto, Hina, and me.
You know?
In that case, I'm gonna go by myself too.
Just a second! second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's identity. Laughing loudly, Hiro left the dining hall. Everyone's really gonna go off by themselves? What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same thing.
But,
I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know.
'cause, I mean...
But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depended on Sakura and everyone else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been here, I would have died. Makoto. That's really nice of you to say. But still, I know I've mostly been totally useless.
Okay.
So I figure at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that will help us all get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. See you later. Hina was in surprisingly high spirits as she dashed out of the dining hall. And once again, it's just us two.
Indeed.
So you're gonna go off on your own too, right,
However-
Kyoko? Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're going to do our searches separately doesn't mean we can't still work together.
So,
That goes for all of us. I think I see what you mean. Doing your own investigation doesn't mean we can't work together in the end. I should just see it as us splitting up to cover more ground, and then we can get back together and share what we found. Yeah, that's right.
so then,
Well, I better get going. I have an endless list of things I need to check.
correct.
Monokuma said all the doors in the school have been unlocked, right? So we should be able to investigate every nook and cranny in the school. We can visit all the places we couldn't go before.
Makoto.
No matter what it takes, we have to uncover the truth, by any means necessary. With that, Kyoko was gone, leaving only me. I don't have time to waste either. I have to begin my search. I still can't believe the mastermind might be one of us. So that's what I have to prove. I'll prove that the mastermind isn't one of us. We expose the mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of the school. And then we can all escape together. Es geht verdammt schnell los. I guess I'll start by taking another look at Mokuro's Monokuma file. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through her body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Once we find out who killed Mukuro Ikusawa, then we'll know who the mastermind is. So where should I start my investigation to figure out who killed her? I guess I should start with the rooms that were locked up until now. The headmaster's room, the biolab, and the door in the data center with Monokuma's face on it. Oh, and the second floor of the dorms where the gate was down before. That should be open now, right? Second floor of the dorms. Oh, stimmt! After that, I'll have to double check the areas that are connected to the murder, which means the garden and the dojo. Okay, time to get started. Okay, as the headmaster's room, biolab, data center has door with Monokuma logo. Second floor dorms. It seems related to Mokuro, Garden und das Dojo. Okay. Ich würde sogar ehrlich jetzt gerne mal das abchecken, weil ich weiß nicht genau, was er meint. Und für das hier. Ja, es ist wirklich offen. Bisher war nämlich die ganze Zeit verschlossen. Das sieht aber weird aus. The gate's open. We can finally check out the second floor of the dorms, which means I have to do it. Was? This is the second floor of the dorms? It looks like some ancient ruins. Or no, it's more like a battlefield, like a bomb blew up here or something. Ist hier alles zerstört, außer hier. So. The bed is completely torn apart. I mean, it's not even really a bed anymore, it's just garbage. I opened the door just a crack, glanced inside, and immediately closed it again. There wasn't even a hint of a bathroom, just a big pile of rubble. Und sonst gibt's hier nix, oder was? Nee, okay. Jetzt mal wieder gehen. Okay. Kommen wir auch gleich wieder raus. Was ist denn das? This room is filled with lockers. It must have been for the Hope's Peak students who came before us. The class before ours must have used these lockers. Holy shit! I can't imagine any way to get this locker open. I'm not even gonna bother trying. There's a metal plate mounted to the lockers. There's no way to get it open. I don't think this locker's gonna open. Wonder if I can open this locker. Nope, locked. There's a card reader installed in the door. That must be how you get the locker open, after all. It's pretty similar to the card readers for the locker rooms on the second floor of the school. And you have to use your e-handbook to open those up. So does that mean... Well, let's just give it a try. I took out my handbook and ran it across the card reader. And then... No luck. Maybe only the locker's owner can open it, which means none of us can do it. What if I can open this locker? No lock. There's a card reader. Yeah. This locker is already kaput. What if I can open this locker? Ah, okay. Dann können wir hier gar nichts machen, oder wie? Plate. I know what's inside, but there's no way. This room doesn't really feel like a student's room. It has a more adult atmosphere.
Correct.
It's the headmaster's private room. Kyoko!
Indeed.
I've been through this room several times already, but I still have one little regret. So I decided to check it out one more time. Regret. There's a strange gap in the wall. It's some kind of design mistake or a construction defect or something.
So...
There's a gap here, but not just any normal gap. I can feel a breeze coming out.
Indeed.
Breeze? There's likely an open space on the other side of this wall. Open space, does that mean... You mean like a hidden room? I think I might know how to open it. You know how to open it? Did you figure out some kind of trick or something?
Indeed.
A very easy trick, yes. So easy I'm not sure you can even call it a trick. I saw a program on that PC that I think controls it. Enter the right password and the door should open right up.
However...
But I don't have a clue what the password might be. All we know is it's probably made up of letters and or numbers. We can't really go from there. You're right, that's not nearly enough to go on.
True.
I looked through all his paperwork, all the files in the PC, everything I could think of. I learned more about him than I had any desire to, but nothing that might have been his password. When I think of how much time I wasted on this. Such mal seinen Geburtstag. There's a PC on the desk. It must have belonged to the headmaster.
It would seem...
Whoever used this last, it looks like they were very interested in the ultimate despair. The PC still has some research results left on it. They might be able to get some info on the ultimate despair.
However...
There's not much, though. Nothing we don't already know.
In other words...
The ultimate despair isn't some individual, but instead points to some kind of group. That group is responsible for the tragedy which happened 1 year ago. They're the worst sorts of people whose driving force comes from despair.
However...
That's all there is. Not much to it, is there? But I guess that's the best he could do as a complete Kirigiri failure. But any information about the mastermind is helpful, right? I appreciate whatever info we can get our hands on. I see. That's a good outlook to have. Die ultimate despair, also das ist eine Gruppe. Wow. Jeez. So there's a hidden room she couldn't get into. That's what she meant by regret. I think we can assume that there must be some kind of clue waiting in there. But maybe for her, there's more to it than that. Anyway, if we want to get in there, we need to figure out the password. If Kyoko can figure it out, no way do I stand a chance. No, wait, there might be a chance. The password could be something Kyoko wouldn't have thought of, or something she didn't want to think of. For example, what about your name?
What?
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to think of what the password might be. I'm sure she hasn't tried it. I mean, it's totally understandable. After the way she talked about her dad, the idea that he would use her name as his password. Knowing how she is, I bet the idea never even occurred to her. Do you mind if I try, just to be sure?
Well,
It's not like you need my permission. If you want to try it, try it. Do whatever you want. Okay. You know, I'm glad I thought of trying Kyoko's name, but if that's not it, that might just hurt Kyoko even more.
hey,
If you're worried about me, Makoto, don't be. I already know that your guess is wrong. Okay, in that case, here goes nothing. I collected myself, then turned to face the computer monitor. Let me just type the password here. I typed in her full name, Kyoko Kirigiri. My hands were tense, slightly trembling, and as I finished typing it in. Das war wirklich jetzt das Passwort? What? That did it? Kyoko, it worked!
why?
Kyoko? Without looking at me, she disappeared into the hidden room. She looked grim. Kyoko? The leather chair. I can imagine a student using something like this. Must have been the headmaster's. The desk is home to a computer. It must have belonged to the headmaster. Hey, Kyoko? May as well not even have been in the room. Her gaze was fixed on only one thing. A present? Wrapped and covered with such joy. That's what made it so unusual. There's a brightly colored box here. It seems totally out of place in here. The more I look at it, the more suspicious I get. Should we open it? I'm getting kind of a bad vibe from it. But I mean, we can't not open it. Okay.
Makoto.
Be careful, Makoto. Why? You think it's dangerous? No, not dangerous, but surprising, probably.
It would seem...
If it is what I think it is. At the very least, it's not something you'll be happy to see. Wait, so you know what's in there?
Anyway,
Just don't scream or anything, okay? Are you saying it's something that'll make me want to scream? Okay, I'm just gonna open it. Step by heavy step, I approached the box. I took a deep breath, then took hold of the lid. Slowly, ever so slowly, I lifted it up. Light began to sneak its way into the box. I stole a hesitant glance inside and... Kyoko's advice was no use. I left out a trembling cry. Ugh. What was in the box? It was bones. Whole human bones. Was the last thing I expected to find in such a bright, joyful box. I mean, who could have possibly imagined?
I see.
Just as I thought. What? Just as you thought. How could you have known that? I mean, there were bones in there. Human
Wrong.
bones. Well, it's not that I was thinking of the bones specifically. I just had a feeling it would be his body. That's pretty much the same thing, a dead guy in a box. My father. What about him?
Correct.
What you found in the box? Those bones. That body. That's my father. Or at least what's left of him. Are you serious? This is Kyoko's dad? The same man she's been searching for? Funden. Hold on, how can you know that for sure? How do you know that's him?
So...
Given all the information we have already, that's the only possible answer. That the same person may very well be the mastermind who planned all this out. According to the files, the headmaster is a man in his late 30s. It's possible, even likely, that he's somewhere in the school right now. It's a very polarizing approach, and no, but okay, enough fun. Anyway, he's so hidden. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. Alter Ego said that the headmaster was probably here in the school, but the only one who were alive at the start of the killing game were us 16 students. When you put those two ideas together, it doesn't take much to assume.
In other words,
That most likely my father was in the school, but he was also dead. That's my assumption anyway. As Kyoko explained her analysis, she was completely calm. Or no, she wasn't calm. She was only trying to seem calm. She said it was just as she thought, so she knew it was a possibility. But I have to believe that at some point she wanted to be proven wrong, which is why she never looked in the box herself, even though she had plenty of chances. I know Kyoko said she wanted to see her father so she could cut off all ties. But was that all there was to it? I gave up some of that pride. In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. Did she really give up her pride just for that? I couldn't help but wonder. Hidden room present. This picture. It's all faded. It must be pretty old. What? Wait, is this a picture of... Hey, Kyoko.
why would you?
Well, this is annoying. I came here to cut myself free of the past, and yet... to now find something like this. So what do you expect me to do now? Then I was right. It's a picture of Kyoko when she was a little girl. Knowing the headmaster had this picture all this time, he must have really cared about her.
Why?
What? I wanted to face him and tell myself to cut him off of my life for abandoning me. That's the whole reason I came here. And now he's abandoned me again. And this time he even stole the only opportunity I had to move on. Has there ever been a worse father? Kyoko. This filling cabinet seems like the kind of place you'd find a clue. I should take a closer look. I don't think Kyoko would like some stranger like me touching her dad's stuff.
Hey,
It's fine, check whatever you want. Are you sure? Okay then. I went through each drawer one by one, starting from the top, but all I found were piles and piles of unrelated documents. He was pretty dedicated to his job, huh?
well,
It's just because he didn't have anything else. He could have inherited our family business, our legacy, instead he left it all behind.
now,
If he couldn't even handle a job like this, he would have been that much more of a failure. I'm sure he couldn't stand the thought of that, and it made him desperate. The headmaster's desk is probably hiding some kind of clue, so I really want to check it out, but I really don't want to touch Kyoko's dad's desk without her permission.
hey,
Don't worry about me, feel free to look around as much as you like. You sure?
because
Never let anything get in. Okay then, if you don't mind. Starting from the top, I opened all the desk drawers and looked inside. I rummaged through each one, finding nothing but unrelated documents. But in the last drawer... Is this... It's an e-handbook, right? It has a label on it that says, in case of emergency. I'd found some kind of emergency handbook in the headmaster's
in
desk.
other words,
A handbook with no limitations given to the school's ultimate authority, the headmaster. I'm assuming that's what that is. I think you're
it
probably
would
right.
seem-
It might prove useful as we continue our investigation. Why don't you hold on to it? But Kyoko, I don't need it. If you don't want it, go ahead and leave it here. Then I guess I'll take it. Is it really okay?
Hey,
Listen, Makoto. Can I ask you a favor? A favor? What is it?
so
I know it's completely unreasonable to ask you this, and I know it'll only inconvenience you that much more, but could you leave?
correct.
Just for a little while. I'd just like to be alone for a bit. Kyoko. Don't worry, I'm fine. I just need to calm down a little.
Just a second.
I need to get my emotions in order. You know, Kyoko, you told me before about the relationship you had with your dad. How you're only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. But maybe that picture motivated him. Maybe he hoped to see me again someday. Is that what you were going to say? If so, it's just a theory. And this isn't an issue that can be settled with theories. That picture doesn't change the fact of what happened, what I went through. That problem can't be solved so easily. You're right. I'm sorry. Once I've got myself under control, I'll return to the investigation immediately. So please just give me some time for myself. Okay, I understand. And I'll see you later. Okay, not good. Is she really okay? Kyoko, it must have been a complete shock to her. I mean, it was a shock to me. To find out what happened to the headmaster. There's no doubt that Mastermind performed that evil deed. They killed the headmaster, killed Kyoko's father. They killed him. The headmaster is dead. The one leading the Hope's Peak staff, the one who finalized the plan to isolate you, was the Hope's Peak headmaster. So the same person may very well be the mastermind who planned all this out. And according to the files, the headmaster is a man in his late 30s. It seems possible, even likely, that he's somewhere in the school right now. But we were wrong about that. The headmaster wasn't the mastermind, which means the mastermind's true identity is... It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, there's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students, and the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. 15 of us met in the main hall. Add Mukuru to the mix and you get 16. And including me, only 6 of us are still alive. Everyone else is dead. Even Mukuru. Even she's undeniably dead. So the ones still alive are... me, Byakuya, Yasuhiro, Toko, Hina, and Kyoko. Only those 6 people are still alive, and there's no question. Wait, no, that can't be. I refuse to believe it. There has to be some other way. There's just has to be. Okay, Leute, würde ich sagen, dann sehen wir uns hier beim nächsten Mal bei Danganronpa und ciao.